edition of Parimat. I'm really happy to welcome you. I'm Cécile Desjardins. I'm a journalist and deputy chief editor at L'Opinion. Régis has talked about the schedule. I'll ask Pascal Dubois to come on stage. And Pascal, please explain everything that's been done in preparation, who the partners are. What is the team that's been involved for over a year? I'll give you the floor. Thank you, Cécile. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, dear Régis, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. Of course, we're extremely happy to see so many of you today. As Régis said, the 15th edition, but this is a specific year, in a way, specific edition, because this is an Olympic year. So how could that have an impact? Well, I'll share a figure, the figure that we were given, the figures we were given by the Paris Tourist Office that said that every year they calculated the average room price in Paris, whatever the hotel category. In 2023, the price of a room was 202 euros in Paris. For 2024, the average, not just talking about the games period, 665 euros. Well, we were somewhat fearful about the number of people who would be able to attend because so many of you came from outside France, because there are about 30 nationalities represented today, and many are coming from the rest of the country. So we're very happy to see that we'll break another record in terms of turnout. So once again, very big thanks. So that's our first goal met, and we want to create networking. We're here for networking, to make contacts, and we have fewer and fewer opportunities to have that sort of contacts. So before I explain how we went about putting this meeting together and how that's going to unfold over these next 2 days, a word about Mathieu Berrurier, who's the chairman of CCA UCAMAT, who was to be with us today, but for a reason beyond his control, he's not able to be here today, and I wanted to mention him. I know he'll be glad of that. He was a great contribution to that. So we organized this meeting based on your feedback. Last year, over 100 of you responded to these horrible 4 pages of questionnaires and forms, and you were so kind as to give us as many verbatims as possible. We had about 30 pages of verbatim, and we don't just put that in the bin. We built our schedule our agenda based on verbatims. The greatest compliment you made us is a day and a half. That's probably not enough. Have that over 2, maybe 3 days. Well, that's all very kind and nice, but that has consequences in terms of organization, logistics, and prices, but also in terms of topics. The topics that present need to be interesting to you, and they need to have value in your busy schedules. The choice of topics, they need to be topical, they need to give food for thought and be forward-looking. It's a mixture between training, information, and thinking. It needs to be a time for discussion between professionals. And of course, we can only have that if we listen to your inputs to all professionals. The editorial line, as I would discuss it, is defined by the organization board that Régis talked about a second ago. That's made up of the main components of the market. That is insurance, Mathieu Daubin, chair of COMAT, Régis Bourdin, chair of CESAM, also an insurer, Mathieu Berrurier, chairman of CSCA UCAMAT, so brokers, Antoine Nautiot, representing SAMS, so maritime agents, Nathalie Mercier-Perrin, who's with us, and we'll be glad to welcome her on stage. She represents the Maritime Cluster. I mean, she's the president of the Maritime Cluster, who's gracing us with her presence on the organization board. Delphine Marchessault, representing companies. This year, we are welcoming a representative from surveyors. Claim surveyors are important. It's important to have their vision. So we're welcoming Jean-Christophe Martin. During the year, he agreed. It was no easy task. Jean-François Thomas from France Assurance, Mathilde Dequière, and myself for CESAM. So the ethos is not that it's a CESAM meeting or an insurer's meeting. It's everybody's meeting. That's the ethos. We want to be open and to listen to all players. I'll give you an example of that, because this year we've got something that seemed quite remarkable a few months ago. A claim surveyor whom I didn't know was invited at Sedgwick. I mean, I was honored because they're a partner, so why not? And I was approached by someone whom I didn't know called Emmanuel Raymond, who's in the audience, and he said, Mr. Dubois, you've been organizing this meeting every year. I've got an idea. Okay, what's your idea? I would like for us to organize a discussion about artworks transport. And here I've got Irène Bardouin, who's the chair of the individual customers art and species for Willis Towers, and a number of insurers and specialists like Transport Chenu that would be very much willing to take part. That's exactly what we want. That kind of initiative that I offered once again to the organizing board was immediately approved, and we realized that the transport of artworks was never covered by any presentation during the Parimat days. So that's exactly what it's about. You'll never be a bother to us. Your ideas are always welcome. They're wonderful. Of course, in your feedback, we're told that there's not enough land transport in our discussions. That's probably true. That will be the case again probably this year. We'll make an effort next year. Claims surveyors asked us for market figures, so we'll have the market figures presented by Mathieu Dubin and Michel Braffman tonight. Well, these days are for transport insurance, but I'm talking about marine, land, and aviation transport. Aviation and space are highly represented, and I'd like to thank them for that. I won't come back to what Régis said, inflation. This is something you wanted us to discuss. That will be the case. Aviation and space topics, that's the case. We were told about geopolitics and sovereignty. That will be the case with very high caliber speakers. We have some areas of improvement when talking about wind offshore wind. There'll be nothing that's about that this year, but probably next year. We wanted to put the focus on data, technology, AI, and everything that is around digitalization in marine and aviation insurance, so discussion and the transport of EVs. Also, one request for a year, we've been lucky on the French market to have a French president of IUMI, so we'll welcome Frederick with us, and he will say more about IUMI, about its goals, and what that can contribute to our markets. Another new thing, talking about outreach, so more international, yes, even the speakers on stage will be more international. We'll have a discussion this morning about EV transport, or the transport of electric batteries. 4 out of 5 speakers are non-French, so that's very good. We've got specialists. Thank you to them, Marty, Anna, I'm probably forgetting a few, and Alan of NYK. So if you don't understand English, you'll have translation headsets available. That won't be a problem. That's an innovation also in the presentation. Although we want to promote the French market as such, as I say each time, it doesn't exist. As such, it doesn't exist because this is a fully international business, the marine and aviation insurance market. Of course, it exists because we have accounts and clients in France and elsewhere, and this elsewhere is very important. Cooperation with L'Opinion, this newspaper, is very important for us. We are ramping that up regularly. This year, we're lucky to have 5 journalists with us, including chairman and founder Nicolas Bétou, but also Cécile, whom you know, who is a fan favorite every year. You're asking us to bring her back every year, and I hope she will be here. That's an undisguised call to her. And you can see that there will be a thematic pull-out section in L'Opinion with an interview of Admiral Vaujour in this pull-out section. Well, on international transport and marine insurance. For a week, L'Opinion has been publishing articles, and for another week, that will be a case to showcase the attractiveness of our market. That's what we're doing. We've been doing with the cooperation with L'Opinion. Talking about attractiveness, that's always really a sort of hodgepodge. It doesn't mean a lot, but attractiveness means that our market is presented better. We are raising its profile, so companies or market players are investing more. More business is placed on the French market. There is more capacity, and head offices give more underwriting power and claims management to employees. So more business, more jobs, more people. So it's a virtuous cycle that's pulling us upwards, and we're involving surveyors worldwide, Indian and from other countries. And I'm naming India and China. We'll have several Chinese and Indian surveyors speaking. And you have a recording studio for the main VIPs who will be interviewed at the exit of this room. So this is part of this major outreach principle for professionalization in our meeting, and many of you are heeding the call, so we'd like to thank you for that. Now, logistics and housekeeping. I need to rush a little bit. Starting at 10, that's what you've been asking, what you'd been asking for. 30-minute breaks. We're always split between a sitting lunch or a standing lunch. More cocktails, more food during the cocktail. You'll see for yourselves. And the gala dinner at the Cercle Interallié. It will be, the weather will be very nice, but men, please remember to wear a tie and jacket. About how we've put the meeting together, apart from the organization board that I talked about, we have a reading committee. And here I'd like to mention those who read the 13 theses, because it's a lot of work reading a 10-page or 110-page Tiffaine Paquin, Frédéric Demer, Mr. Garrix from Marien Almoret-Delvessia, Dominique Delvesser, Fabien Perrin, Sautier Verlingue, someone from AXA XL, and Rosanne offered her help even before we approached her with the thesis. So thank you, Rosanne. That's the type of cooperation we want. Xavier Lozac, Laurent Saint-Michel, and Lucilien Denoyel. Thank you to them. It's nice to always have very motivated people. And the student award, Jean-Paul and Mathilde will tell you more about that. The CESAM team, I am mentioning them, Stéphane and Pierre, who've been here since Saturday. Well, you can't see that, but it takes a lot of work to put the big screen behind me together. The team from LV Perry, LMA at Maison de la Chimie, and our two interpreters whom you can't see, Anthony Roger and Mélanie Gour today. Lettres Actives, Communication, Diane de Saint-Marc, two special guests, or standing guests rather, because they were behind this event, and another one grew it, Patrick de la Morennerie and Patrice Gilbert. They'll always be welcome here. I could have mentioned more. Sorry, Christophe, but I'll mention you also. You helped grow this event, Christophe Lambert from NRA. And we have the Deputy CEO, Deputy Chief Editor of L'Opinion, Cécile Claire. Now, since my time's almost up, what we'll do is that we'll honor our partners. Why is that important to honor our partners? Well, just for you, this meeting is about €500,000 in costs. So you shouldn't get it wrong. About 2/3 is about the logistical organization at Maison de la Chimie, catering, the organization. So that's paid by registration fees. And the remaining third, so the cocktail, interpretation, all that, the student award is paid by sponsors. So beyond the financial aspect that helps this day take place at all, you have the possibility to show the depth and the wealth of the French ecosystem. So I'll stop here. Mathilde is with me. She helped me a lot in looking for partners, so we'll call our partners on stage one after the other. Please come on stage when your name is called. We'll take great pictures. Pierre-Yves, please. Could you stand up? And then after that, we'll have the logos of our partners. Stéphane, please. So I'll start. Please come on stage like last year at AGCS, Delphine Marchessault. Delphine? For AM Group, Hugues Desbois. Ameline Angèle Van Fam. AXA Excel Jelly Samos. Barbus Maximo Luque. Batamanné-Tillery Nicolas Gabriel. BHSI Murière Bier Jules Vecourt. Certifical Guillaume Laurent. Cial Surveys Thierry Bibard. Clyde & Co Rosanne Lopin. CRTL Grégory Nappé. DPS Timothy Buis. RJ Atlantis Étienne Senard. Ergo Laurent Saint-Michel. Esseniel Partners Bissa Batu. Fred Justing CG Alexine. Garex Frédéric de Nefle. Generali Global Corporate Solaren Corollaire. Gladstone Agencies Nilesh Jatia. Helvetia Vincent Letac. Is Vincent here? Thanks, Vincent, for coming on stage. We appreciate HFAW Allman, Guillaume Brageux. Interlloyds, Martin Novos. GLB Expertise, Rémi Barral. La Réunion Aérienne, Michel Braffman. Mitrisk, Laurent Barbagli. MMA, Gonzague de Bruzon. Pennington, Martis Cooper, Christophe Unkeler. Planète CSCA, UCAMAT, Christian Barnabé. QBE, Mathilde Dutoit-Michelet. RSC, Christophe Tirard. Saltrex, Michel Adjasinski. For SAMF, Antoine Lucchio. Well, please move to the side so we can take a group picture. Thank you. For SCORE, Grégory Delessé. Dominique Breton for Sedgwick. Tokyo Marine, Philippe Bourgeois. Jean-Charles Gondel for Unseen Labs. Thank you, Jean-Charles. UPEM, Thibaut Dufuchet. Marie Rousseau for Vering Cargo. Veritech, Laurent Leborgne. Marie-Laure Mirion, W.E. Cox. And finally, Wish Specialty with Michael Brachavelto. Wish Specialty. They're our lanyard sponsor, so they're one of the biggest sponsors. Thank you, Michele. Thank you to the We team. Well, maybe if we can take a few pictures, please, Mathilde. You have the logos here. Thank you, Pierre-Yves. And we're right on time, so that's great.